Hey, how's it going? Richie Bullet Brothers. Quick little firearm video on magazines once again. And this is something I do. And this is something to pay attention to for your home defense gun, the guns you keep in your home. Or if you carry stuff like that, if you're using the same magazines, and let's face it, when you carry, you're not shooting any rounds really or something, unless something bad happens. So what I'm going to tell you is definitely something to consider. Again, people always say, I never had an issue, that's not an issue, but believe me, it is an issue. So this is my home defense magazine. This is a 15 round I keep in my Glock 17. And I cycle my magazines. Not often, maybe once a month. My carry magazines, I cycle them. And what I do is when they're loaded, I keep the same magazine in my home defense, my carry gun, for X amount of time, like a month, and then I'll switch out the magazines. But what I do, I'm going to do it now, is the top round, I just put a little mark on it. So what I do is, I take this round and put it aside. Then I load up my next magazine with the rounds from here, cycle the magazines, get a new magazine, then I put the same round on top. And I do this maybe 3-4 times. And then after that, I take this round and I put it in I have a ammo jug, and I take it to the range and I shoot it. Because chambering the same round over and over and over again, eventually this round can get deformed and cause a problem. So if you chamber it, you can see over time that this round has it's hard to pick up, but it has little nicks on it. And that's from chambering. I have one loaded in the chamber. I always have one ready to go. It's loaded, hot. And eventually this will get so nicked up and even deformed a little bit that it could cause a problem. So I just, after about 3-4 times, I'm talking like 3-4 months. So throughout a year, maybe 6 rounds, 12 rounds that I'm going to put in the container and shoot. Because it can cause a problem. And then I'll use a new round on top. Blah, 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 blah. And then after, maybe 3-4 months when I go to range, I'll take this whole magazine and I'll shoot it. And then I'll start off with new ammo. So that's what I do. I cycle my magazines, but be careful. I always use the same round for about 3-4 times, and then I don't use it no more. Because if you keep chambering the same round over and over again, eventually it can cause a problem. And I can mix these up and just load them and chamber around, but that's how I do it. And then I always feel safe that way. I try to eliminate anything that could possibly go wrong, and that's something that can go wrong. You can do it with your AR magazines too, if you want. If you have an AR, I don't keep my AR loaded, ready to go. I have a magazine always ready to go, but that's never loaded. But my home defense gun's always loaded. And I cycle magazines, and I also cycle rounds. So that's it. Richie Bullets and Brothers. Quick little firearm tip. Do it. It's just a little safety, peace of mind. It gives me peace of mind. That's all I can say about that. There's a couple of guys who have a couple of videos out there, and they do the same thing. In fact, there was a video I watched a while back where the guy did that to a round. Eventually the round got so deformed that it could have caused major problems. So if you keep chambering the same round over and over again, it could lead to an issue. That's all I'm saying. So let's just play it safe. And you can see that this round has a little bit of nicks on it, from grabbing and going in, and that's how I do it. So I just take that round after about 3-4 cycles, put it in my ammo thing, and I take it to the range and shoot it. Simple as that. So Richie, Bullets and Broadheads, quick little firearm tip on magazines again. A lot of people neglect magazines. They're very important. They're the feeding mechanism to all your firearms. And make sure that I always take every precaution to make sure they're running good and there's no issues with my magazines. So that's it. Richie Bullets and Broadheads, quick little video. Cycle your magazines. There are cases where people leave these loaded. That's not what destroys these magazines. Loading them, keep them loaded for like 3-4 years. And then they take them and shoot them. It's the constant compression of the springs that wears out a magazine, not keep them well loaded like this. It's the constant going up and down, the spring going up and down. That's what eventually wears the magazine. But I cycle my magazines, just a peace of mind. Maybe once a month I do it. I know I don't keep track or a calendar, but I just know usually it's probably about every 4 4 or 5 weeks I'm doing that. So that's it, Richie Bulletin Board. I got so many magazines, so I cycle them. I number on my magazine. This one's number 2, so always number your magazines too. Make sure you don't have a bad magazine. And that's it, Richie Bulletin Board. That's over and out.